Hello everybody, Thorgal here, and welcome back to another episode of Infinity Evolved Expert Mode here on the FTOG server. Now, on the last live stream, we started a very big project that I'm going to show you guys here in a second, and we just did the very beginning, so you didn't miss anything. And that's going to be our new base. Because, well, my FPS here is getting really bad, sometimes down to 15 or even lower right now, 9. But that is due to recording. And it's just time that we move and make a bigger base, something where I can expand a little more when it comes to auto-crafting and all these things. And it's going to be, I think, a really amazing factory when it's done. But I'll go into more details when we get over there and check it out. But in order to do that, I'm going to need a lot of blocks. I'm going to need a lot of brick, which I've automated here. I'm going to need a lot of factory blocks. And I'm going to need a lot of lights. Gray stained glass and also regular glass paints. Actually, have I automated those before? I don't think I have. No. Alright, so I automated these this morning, added it here to the yellow room, our auto crafting room where we still have lots of room to set up more. But all of these things here need to be chiseled. And I remember in mod sauce, the auto-chisel did not work. We were not able to automate it here. But here on the Infinity mod pack, I've seen a few other people automate it so far. Oh no, I shouldn't say automated. I've seen them use it. So I'm hoping that it's actually going to work. If not, that would be a real bummer that I made all this, because that was a lot of emeralds, these cards here. Every card costs 3 emeralds in a different arrangement here. But hopefully it will work. And I wanted to set up one of them with you to show you how I do it. And I have an idea of how to set it up. At least I hope it will work that way. And I'm going to take left the input and right the output. So in every one of these, of course, we're going to have to put a chisel. And then let's see here. I have an automation upgrade that goes in there. I have a speed upgrade, and I also made a stack upgrade. Now there's one more here, a reversion upgrade. I'm guessing that is just to put it back into the other form or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But I don't think we'll need it, and we'll start with this factory block here. Okay, so let's put that in here. And this is the target slot here. So I put this in here, and, whenever there's a factory block coming in here, it should then, chisel it, and hopefully I can pump it back out. And for that, I brought these guys right here. Get them down here. Alright, so like I said, on the right hand side we're gonna pull out, so I'm gonna put a chassis here, and I'm gonna put a satellite pipe right there, and I'm just gonna break this for a second so it doesn't go until I am done setting it up. And let me get my wrench from over here. I leave a wrench and the sign updaters here down here, so I don't need to go into my bag every time, because I am down here quite often. And now this one here, again, just one to the right, so that's satellite ID 9. And then on this one, we're going to put one crafting update. And I think... oh yes, I need to get this out again. And... whoops, wrong bag. Go in here, in this project bag for now. And I believe... whoops. That in here, I'm going to tell it input... oops, sorry, wrong one. I gotta put the input in the satellite, which is... oh, because it's not connected. Okay, I wanna... why does it put 1? There we go, I just wanna put 1. And I guess I do need to connect it now, otherwise the system doesn't know about this. And this should be able to go over the top. Not sure... I want it to look nice. So let me get 4 plugs. So I can block this off on the top coming down. Okay. Oh, right there. Okay, good. So again here in the crafting module, now we can go over to satellite pipe 9. And the output should be this. Alright, so now we should be able to put this back in here. And let's first just try if it actually does one at a time. Oh, it won't pull it out automatically because it's not requested via crafting. I forgot about that. Let's put this one in here. What? Put it in there. Alright, and these ones were sent back. And I guess now I could actually request them. So factory, right there. Let's just make 10 real quick. And see if that all works. It should come down over here to the left and in. And then it should come out. Oh, there's even something. Oh, wow, that was fast. That's quite fast. I'm surprised about this. And it looks like you can see the actual symbol hovering over here. So if this pipe wasn't here, we can just break it a second. Yeah, you guys see that? That's pretty cool. I never saw that before. So I ended up putting them next to each other. I think that looks better this way. And I got more room left this way. So this right here is making us that stained glass pane with the quadrants. And this one the bubble. And then over here we're making the fancy bricks. And I'm going to go ahead and order some of these. Let's go. I never tried this either here. Just crafting. Let's see if we can find that in here. I wonder what the order is in this. So right there, I'm going to need a lot of these. So I'm going to go ahead and order just... Let's order 1,000 for now. And I actually want to see them come down here real quick and see how fast this will handle it if you send a lot of it. See, it's making us the bricks itself. Yeah, man, this is going quick. Look at that. You can barely pull it out fast enough. So the chisel is actually faster than the pipe. That is pretty nifty. Okay, and then we'll also need... Oh, gotta change that every day, huh? Or every time, every day. Alright, this stuff here, I'm not gonna need that much, so... Well, actually, let's go with 500. This is the light gray, right? Yes. Just want to make sure I order the right thing. And the glass pane bubbled, also 500. And what was the last thing? Oh yeah, the factory block. This guy right here. Let's order also 500. Let's see this go nuts here. The whole shebang. I'm going to make the factory blocks. It's making the panes. And then everything comes over here. It's just going crazy. Look at that. That is awesome. Alright, cool. So all this is working, and now we are going to go over to the villager factory. Or at least that's where this one used to be. Right there. Oh. Let's sleep real fast. I don't have any surprises here. Now, right here, you guys see in front of me a little bit grayed out is the building's beginnings. Up here is where we have the villager factory. Let me just show you on the map. Right there. Here is our B base, and here is spawn our... This is the blood magic temple or altar you can see right there. And over here, I flattened out this entire area. It's a very large area. And this is the design of the factory that we came up with in a stream. Now, don't worry, it looks very clean, but that is simply just... We had a bunch of other bricks in here, you know, every once in a while, and we replaced some of these glass panels here, or glass panes. With different ones to make this look older. It looks pretty cool when we have that exchanged, but because I'm going to replicate this slice here many times, all the way to down here, guys, and then back on the other side, you guys can see this is going to be a very large building, and that's the main factory floor. And from the front and so on, there's nothing done yet, but this is going to be the shape. This one marks the middle of it. Right here is the middle of it, so that's how wide it's going to be. And over there, we just played around with some ideas on extra buildings, and all these smaller squares here are going to be railcraft tanks to store all kinds of liquids and so on. And the goal for this area here is, guys, if something can be automated that we're making, it will be automated. And really, this is supposed to look, when it's done, something along the lines of like a 1930s big factory. Okay, that's kind of what I've been going for. Of course, you know, we can only go with the bricks we want or we have available to us, but that is how we're gonna go about it. So now, right here, I used the architect table and I made a blueprint, exactly this one slice here, and then I put it over here. And this is in here, that factory slice. That's what I called it. And I just noticed. Oh, there they are. So this is the blocks that we need for one of these slices right here. It's actually, yeah, it is a slice, but only half of it, because later on I'm gonna need to turn this here 90 degrees. I don't exactly know how that's gonna work yet, but we'll figure that out. So let me get together these blocks here now. From there. So it's at 120 of these. Oh, I forgot to automate the hempcrete. I still have to do that. And we're gonna need a few of these, this and that. You see right there, there's some stained glass panels, and they're darker, so they look like, you know, different color, and so on. So I think that should be all. Let's put this in here. Right, that should be... Oh, I need 45 of these. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. Oh, I also need 8 of these walls. And these right here, we decided to take infernal... this infernal brick, which isn't too bad to make. Let's see here real quick. I think it's made out of... Where is it? This one right there. It's nether brick and soul sand. And it makes this, and then you put it in a crafting table to make the small bricks out of it. Should be... Where is it? The large bricks, sorry. Yes, you make these, and then out of these you make the small bricks. These guys right there, and then with those you can make the wall right there. The infernal brick wall. And that's what's up here on the roof. And I like this, it looks better than just any other wall that I figured. And I wanted something up here. This is really not going to be used as a terrace or something, but this is just the ceiling, you know. And we're not going to put anything up here. I'm sure maybe pipes or whatever, but it just gives it a little nicer edge. And don't forget, guys, this is just what the builder can actually handle. There is no microblocks yet. There's going to be lots of microblocks, you know, making this look better and dressing it up and giving it more 3D feel and so on. Now, what was the other thing here I was missing? I forgot now. I needed 2 more hempcrete, yes. And that is clay. I need to automate this. I'm just making a ton of, whatchamacallit, clay. Actually, I'm making a ton of sand. I've automated that. And then I'm going to turn on the clay automation on top in the magic area again with the clayconia. I might show you guys this here in a second when this is done. The hemp takes a little longer. There we go. And let's go to my table. If I remember right, it was like this. Yes, sweet. Okay. All right, now I got everything. Let's put this in here also. And this. Oh, perfect. I needed an 8 and I have 9. And then we're just going to put down one of these guys right here. And it should start. Yes, and let's give this some beef Wellington so I can keep making power. And this is how I plan on, you know, replicating one slice after another on this factory. And I wanted to show you guys on the video. I'm actually very excited about the... Wow, it does carpenter's blocks. That is so cool. I've never used the builder with carpenter's blocks. That is going to save me so much work. I wonder how it's going to be when I rotate this 90 degrees. If it's going to be smart enough to do that too. Hey, put the last one in there. Thank you. All right, and it's done. So that's going to be quite quick. And now all I got to do is, I show you guys how easy it is to replicate this. There's no measuring needed, nothing. And there it is. All I got to do is put it down here. And put the plan in, the blueprint, and bam, there it is. Put the next one in, give it power, and keep going until I'm down there. And I'm going to make it so, you know, I don't know if it's exactly going to fit to, this is 6 by 2 chunks. And it's actually 34 wide, the cobblestone. But we're only going to go with 33, so it's an odd number instead of an even number. Because, well, it's just going to be nicer. And that is how I'm going to do that. Now, the other thing is... Yeah, let me go back and... What did I just tell you guys I wanted to... Oh, yes, I wanted to show you guys the clay production. Because I don't think I'll ever show that. Oh... Let's see here. Right now, I set up a... Come on. Catch up game. Thank you. Right now, I just set up a regular extruder back here. That is making me cobble. And that's putting it directly into the storage drawer behind it. At least I hope that's actually working. I never even checked if you can actually input from the back, but I think you can. Yeah, it does. See, output is in the in the back. So it does that. And then over here, for now, because I didn't want to just order a certain amount, okay? And FPS is getting so bad. I just set it up to, here it is. This thing right here is a supplier logistics pipe. Let me get my wrench out so I can show you. There. What? What happened? RF tools. Right there, just 64 cobble. And this guy is overclocked, so it's making sand so fast. Check this out. Right? And this guy over here. Alright, and the sand fills up our sand, and I also requested, I think, 10,000 brick. And because I had so much clay, so this is just making us brick on the go also really fast. And on top of the mountain, I have this little contraption going here, which I'm actually going to turn on now. And that is, we have a block placer here. That places sand right in front of this Clayconia. It breaks it, and then this vacuum hopper, which I'm going to set now, right up again, it goes into this vacuum, into this item buffer. It just looks like an MFE. And that one all goes down here. There is a active supplier set to 64 sand, so it keeps this thing here full with sand. Actually not full, but it's set to buck 50, right? Yes, buck 50, so once it goes under 32, it sends another 32. And over here is just a simple redstone clock that is disabled right now with the lever. But as soon as I flip that, that's gonna go again. And I just want to make sure I take off my magnet and turn the vacuum hopper, oops, wrong one, to output on the bottom. And here we go. Now we turn this on. And the cool thing is that, you know, I don't always want to make clay, but I noticed that this Clayconia here only takes mana out of this one pool. It doesn't take it out of the second one. So I'm just going to let this run now until that one mana pool is completely drained. And then I'm going to have, you know, one piece of sand sitting here, and I don't care. But this is my little clay automation, so I don't need to worry about the bricks. And that is everything that we need for the factory. So I'm pretty sure in the live stream and so on, we're going to go ahead and then dress up the factory when it's done. It's going to take me probably quite some time waiting for all the materials and getting that done until it's finished. And like I said, I still need to automate this hempcrete as a building block. And I also need to automate the infernal bricks. But I don't want to mess with that right now because we are going to get going with the next project. So for a lot of the recipes that we're going to have upcoming here, we're going to need computers, okay? And in order to make computers, we need inscribers because we need to make these, what are they called? Presses? No, you used to press it for the processors? I think that's what they're called. Let's see what they're called. I think that's what they're called. Where are they? Right there. Yeah, processors. And I already made one here about a couple days ago because I needed to make a golden chipset in order to make, I should say, one of these logic processors, these guys right here, in order to make the filler that I needed to excavate that big area over there. But today we're gonna make 4 more of them. You guys see the recipe right there. It's quite expensive, but I'll always just need 5 of them, no more. And I'm just gonna put them down right here. I prepared this area. And that's where we're going to have this. Of course, we're going to get rid of the abyssal stone here shortly. But what we need to do first is make one processor. So we're just going to actually set it up the way I want to have it. The silicon, let's see here. Silicon is always going to be the far left one. So you'll make me one of these. Yep, it's getting power. The second one I always like to have is the logic, which we don't need here. The third one is the calculation. And then the last one, whoops, fourth one I should say, is going to be the engineering one, which is the diamond. And then once we get these all together, I think that goes here, yes. We're going to get the printed engineering circuit, and we're going to get the silicon from here and put those 2 in there. And we'll make our first engineering processor. And that one we're going to need because we're going to automate this here. I don't want to make these by hand. And this time around, we're actually going to use Steve's Factory Manager. And in order to do that, we need our first advanced computer. And we'll put that in here with Invar, electric steel. And there goes our first Steve's Factory Manager inventory manager. That's a lot of managers. And here is some inventory cables. And that is what's going to go into these spots right there. Right? So cable, 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 cable. And another one. And then right here, we are going to use the actual machine inventory manager. I just want to test because there's no cable touching this one. I think we're still going to be able to access it. Let's see here real quick. Yes, I can still get to the item buffer. Very cool. So let me delete this again. Cool. So how do we want to do this? In the back here, in the back of this item buffer, I'm going to have a crafting. Yep, I'm going to have a chassis with 4 different. It's going to be 4. Yes. With 4 different crafting cards. And then the Steve's Factory Manager simply reads what's in here and then fills up the other ones. And Steve's Factory Manager, if I remember right, can access all 4 or all 6 sides, I guess, of this without actually having to touch those sides. So them just sitting on top of this inventory cable should be enough. So we're going to set up the first one. And can we put all this? No. I'm trying to think here. Now we're gonna make groups, all right? So let's make a. Is it a command group? It's been a couple of weeks now since I used it. So all right, let's put a group right here, and we're gonna call this one first silicon. That and then save, and then we'll go in here, and now we're gonna need a trigger, an input, and an output. That's what you always need, pretty much, or I'm gonna say most of the time. So trigger here. Input and the output. The trigger, you don't need to change anything, but the input, we're checking the item buffer. In target, I'm just gonna keep it on down. I think that's default. And I'm checking for items, whitelist. Okay, I'm going to search for silicon. This thing right there. You take any silicon that goes into this item buffer and you output it to the far away. So that's the last one right here. That's the inscriber that has the silicon press. And we are actually inputting that from, let me see here, what is this direction? East. So east is towards the window, I gotta remember that. Output, inventory, this one. Target, we're going to use east. Activate, so that's inserted from the left side. And I don't need to set anything else up here because I'm only pulling out the silicon from there, so that should work. So let's connect these, and then we can try if this actually works by requesting a silicon. There we go. And I gotta take it out here. And let's put that in here, and it should disappear. There it is. Should be there, and it's gonna get pressed, and of course it's gonna sit there because I haven't set up the. What? Oh, it went to the output. Okay, that scared me. So that is going to be west. Okay. So now we're going to need another trigger input output. And set that up right there. Like this. So that's going to handle everything with the silicon. And input again is going to be the last one. But this time we're going to go west. Activate. Oh, I just noticed that I probably have to deactivate this. Do I need to deactivate this? I did the. This is down, yes. Let me check here real quick. Up in east. I want to deactivate the up part. Just to make sure that there is no confusion. So this one, target, we're pulling out from the west. And the output is going to be back here in the item buffer. And target, I'm just going to do up. That doesn't matter. Because there's no, doesn't matter which input or output side it goes. But the one thing I forgot to do here is items. I'm going to whitelist them. There shouldn't be anything else in that west part but this. But just to keep it nice and organized, I'm whitelisting that to be only these guys. Actually, I think we're going to be able to save. No, we'll just leave it like this. Okay, so now we have, and it should be in here. Yes, there it is. So now the printed silicon is never going to go back into the system because there's nothing you use this for. by itself. You only use them in the inscribers. I think so. Yes. So there's no other use. So this doesn't need to go back into our storage. And that one, we can set up to go automatically to the last one. So we actually need to go back one now. So we got the silicon. And because I think we have Steve's add-ons. I have not used Steve add-on. There is a way to copy something. Copy. Drop command here. Okay. So we're going to do the rest in the end here. So I dropped it here. Cool. Now I have a second one. That is so handy. Because now it's going to save me a lot of time. And this one I'm going to call logic. Because that's going to make us the logic processors. And here we go in. Input is going to be the same inventory. The same target. But the items, instead of silicon, it's going to be gold. Gold ingots. And that is going to the output the second furthest away. This inscriber, and unselect this one. And you don't need to change anything else. And then output, or I should say the return, is going to be not this one, but that one. And, oops, I gotta make sure that I whitelist the logic, this printed logic circuit, this guy right there. And output the same way. So let's just go ahead and order a piece of gold. And see if that was enough change or if I forgot anything. Come on. It'll take us just a second. Alright, and now we'll put this in here. It should disappear. It should get printed. There we go. And that should be back here. Perfect. And I'm going to do the same for the calculation and the engineering. I'm just going to switch the gold or the silicon, whichever I copy, to a... I think, which one is it? Do we need pure Certus or just Certus? I always forget. That's the diamond, of course. This guy right here needs a pure Certus quartz, okay? So I'm going to copy that to the other two. Alright, I think I got it all done now. I also added a charger over here. And don't forget, you need to power these chargers from the top or the bottom. And that is just so we can make charged Certus quartz. I ordered one. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. So what do we have here? Let's go back here real quick. These four are the same, just in the four different ones. Again, this one is with the pure Certus, and this one was with the diamond. And then I set up this combining one. That is for the last one. Output is the same. Just pull out whatever is on the right, which is in our case west. Yes, okay. Out, but otherwise on the input, the top input here. This is top, this is middle, and this is bottom. We are pulling in, oops, that's the wrong one, I wanted to come here. Only printed logic calculation engineering circuit, which are sitting right here. You guys see three, right? And in this one right here, oops, I went again, sorry. This is actually the bottom. We're only getting printed silicon. Now I have to check here. Target down. Yes. Okay. So we're putting that in from the bottom. And the last one is redstone. We're putting that into the east, which is the left side to this machine. So whenever it finds those, it will put them there and then pull it out again. So when we connect all of these right now, you guys are going to see, we're going to see two items come in here. We have the silicon on the bottom and maybe blue. Did this just pull it out again? Alright, something is going on here. Input. Inventory. Yes. Target down. Items. Whitelist. These three. Either one of them. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, and the output I said inventory is the first inscriber. Target up. Items. Blacklist. Why you no pulley? What am I missing here? Do I need to do possibly, let's see here. Precise detection, damage value. Match all? I am missing something here. but I'm sure that this thing goes on the top. Let's see. Let's leave that at what? Precise detection. And output, let's double check this one. Inscriber, target, the up one, items, blacklist. Oh, wait a second. I see this one going straight down here. Aha. You need to come here, and you need to come here. There we go. I just connected it wrong. You see that sitting in there? And as soon as I put in D3 redstone here, it's also going to pull one out, and it's going to press make our first logic processor here. There we go, and it should pull it out, and it put the diamond and the redstone, but because we don't have any more silicon, we're going to have to give it these 2 silicons. It's going to make that one, and then it goes back into the buffer, and then it comes back here. And that's going to make our, I think that's an engineering one here. Should be done any second. Come on. Don't, dude. What are you waiting for? Oh, it doesn't pull it out? Okay. I think that is because whitelist, processor. Target west. Inventory, that is where I did it wrong. We need to switch to the first one. There we go. And now it pulled it out, and it's... Yeah, it took a second to pull it out. And that is all 3 of them. So now I have them all 3 sitting in here, and it is working. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys, you put one in here. It puts it instantly into the charger. You got an input from the left on these chargers, and it charges it, and it pulls it out to the right. Input and output are set on these. You can only go in left and out right. And that one is also sitting in here. So that is cool. So this works. And now the last thing we have to do is just set up the magic in the back. And I'm just going to show you guys one of them real quick. Right here in the crafting. Uh-oh, we got a little lag spike here, it seems. Maybe. Alright, I don't know what happened, but I think my internet just was a little slow here. So let's automate the first one, the logic processor. I'm going to show you guys that one. So for this one, I'm going to need, again, a gold, a silicon, a redstone, and I'm also going to get the one for the Certus quartz here so we can get that out of the way. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to get all the different parts real quick. It's going to be super fast. And the last one is the diamond. And now let's take it out. This, that, and that. Have them all? Yes, I do. Alright, again, so the first one, we are making the logic processor. And I say send this a piece of gold, a silicon, and a piece of redstone. And that is it. Then the next one we're going to do is, we say the calculation one, which is a pure Certus, a silicon, and a redstone. And then the third one is the engineering one with a diamond, a silicon, and a redstone. And then the fourth one is, we are saying you get, one for one. And that is it. So now let's test this out. Let's get a processor. There's none in the system. One for you, one for you, one for you. And the items are coming over here. And go. Let's just check on this one. It's already waiting. Perfect. And now we should see the logic one coming out there. There we go. So we got our processors automated. I'm happy about that. So there's no more waiting now. We can finally make computers, which is a big step in the spec, in my opinion. And I got everything here, right? Yes. So I can go ahead and close this too. And it's nicely tucked away. I think it's perfect fit for our automation base over here. And now we got another project I'm going to head to. So for the rest of the episode, what I would like to work on is set up our first IC2 nuclear reactor. A reason for that being is because we're going to need this pellets of RTG fuel. And the recipe for that is you need some plutonium. Okay? And the way we can get plutonium is from these tiny piles of plutonium, which come from, and let's see here, yeah, right here, the depleted uranium fuel rods. And then you put that in a thermal centrifuge, and for every one of them, you get one. So we're going to have to start you know, burning up some uranium in a reactor so we can actually get these depleted ones. Now, you also might want to know is why do you want this pellets of RTG fuel? Is A, well, you can get iridium ore with it. Of course, the crazy crafting recipes here. But there's also, for example, for the yellorium fuel rod, the miniature black hole, so we can make a portal gun. And was there something else? Well, iridium. You just need iridium for a few other things like this reinforced plate. It's just time to get it set up, even though I don't want or need the power. I should say I want the power, yes, but I don't really need it right now. Because everything I run over here, you know, even this guy here with 4 overclocker upgrades, I'm running on these 4 generators. That's all I have here. This guy's probably draining slowly. Yeah. Excuse me. But it's time to make that. And I need to process the uranium ore here first. Now, the way we need to process the uranium ore is in the macerator. So we get the crushed uranium ore. And then we can take that and put it through the thermal centrifuge. And then we get this uranium and also tiny piles of uranium. And I guess, yeah, no, there is no advantage of putting it through the ore washing plants. I really don't care about the lead. So that's what we need to do. I gotta start macerating this uranium. But the thing is that whenever you work with this I've heard horror stories from Brink and so on a lot. You know, that he died many times due to radiation poisoning. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to protect ourselves from that. And for that, I'm going to set up an armor stand here. The redstone block underneath is so when you shift right click, you put your whole set on at once. Or shift right click, you exchange it for whatever is on there. Okay, so you don't need to do one by one. And I'm sure you guys know that already. But we need to make these guys right here. Our little diving suit, I call it. We need a scuba helmet. And it's all very simple. You know, just rubber, dye, and it's just super cheap to make. So we'll just make these 4 pieces here. And these 4 pieces protect you from radiation damage. Okay? So whenever I'm going to work in here now with whatever, the uranium and whatnot, I got to make sure that I wear this suit and hopefully nobody comes visit us unannounced because, you know, they might get hurt. And now let's see here. This guy has ejector and pulling upgrade. I need to take the pulling upgrade out. So it does not pull in the uranium from here. Let's see if it works. Let's put that in here. And it should just come in here and not get pulled out. Because I did not set this guy to push or pull or anything. There we go. Alright, it's not going in here. That's what I want. I don't want it to get smelted up. That would be a disaster. Because that is all the uranium ore I have. And that is what I'm going to get with... I can put... Wait, is that the right one? I can put you in here, right? Yes. Because this guy here is... Oh, I need to turn on this lever here. Because the macerator doesn't get any power otherwise. The cable behind it is connected to it also. But that's fine as long as it's running. And this guy, yeah, pushes into this machine automatically, right? Yes. Push. So it goes in here and then it just sits here anyway. And then we'll take this stuff here and actually put it into our thermal centrifuge. And this guy is already at 3000 heat, so it's not going to take too long. I just want to wait 1 cycle until we get that. Then the other thing I'm going to prepare a lot here off camera. I just wanted to get this started because this is going to take a while processing all this uranium and we might actually not have enough to fill a reactor. One time because it takes a lot of materials and, well, I only had 104 uranium, so we'll see how far this gets us. But this guy, I could actually set to... Now, if I pull it out, I'll just leave it like this and empty it out. But now I believe this stuff here, if I would pick this up, would give me radiation damage. I don't really want to test it. Do I want to test it, guys? Why not? It's okay. Who cares about levels? I just want to see. I've not had radiation damage before. Yeah, instantly. Ow, ow, ow. Oh my goodness. Alright, take it easy. And I think I'm going to have 40 seconds. I might survive it. But anyway, you guys see that when you take this out, the suit is the only thing. Well, it will protect me. Once this is up and so on. And anyways, I'm going to process all this, guys. And then we'll assemble our reactor. That is quite a lot of uranium from these 104. That is... Oh, I've totally forgot to do these 2. Wow. Okay. I guess I'll have to continue with those. I forgot to put them in here. But I am also making this stuff here now. No, 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 no. Wrong one. I needed extruding. Alright, too bad. They're not gonna go bad, but still, I need 5 more iron plates now because I'm gonna need to make 27 of these uranium fuel rods for that first reactor that we're gonna set up. I'm gonna need 25 fuel rods and 27 fuel rods and 27 of those fans to cool it down. So I'm just trying to make what I actually need. There we go. These guys right there. And now somehow I need to fill this in here. Let's see if I can figure that out. What setting? Oh, wait a second. I need to make this enriched uranium nuclear fuel, which is uranium plus tiny pile of uranium. And I need 1 per. Okay. I should have enough of that. Let's do this. Put all this in here for now, so it's out of my inventory. Not you. You stay here. So, like this. And that. Okay, cool. 1, 2, 3. Let's get 27 of these. If I have enough. Ooh, just about. Cool. Cutting it close, but I got enough of this stuff. And now, the only thing is, like I said, is what setting do I need? Ooh, that looks like canning right there. That looks to be it. Let's put this and that. And does that make me what I want? Look at that. Rod uranium. Oh, they do stack. Very nice. I did not know that they stack. That makes it a little bit easier. And when I have all of this now done, then we go ahead and make those fans. I'm gonna use Grok the Duck Farmer's cut intro. 9 hours later. It was nuts, guys. This was one of the longest crafting sessions I've ever had. Oh man, it was mostly waiting on machines. To make all the plates and compressing and pulver macerating, and then over here I needed to make a gazillion plates and these cables. Wow, it was a lot to do, guys. It was crazy. It wasn't bad. It's just I can't wait to automate this. I'm not kidding. So let's make everything for the actual reactor first. We're gonna need 8 of these. What are they called? Reactor chambers, and you need 3 in here to make the actual nuclear reactor. It's not a bad recipe. That generator I took from our old EU setup. You guys see I already tore it down. I hope I don't need any more. I don't think I will. And so we got these 2. Here's the MFE from over there. And now we're gonna make 6 of these Lapatron crystals. And yes, they go right there. Apparently, I don't know what's with this lag here. That's a little weird. It's only when I pick these up. Wait, what? What's happening? Oh man. Okay, I need 4 more. Luckily I have some of these. Oh, I have 7 more. I make everything in bulk. Give it to me. Man, that would have been really bad if I did not have the last 4 items here, because these guys are actually, you know, they might not look bad, but when you look at the recipe, it's a lot of stuff you gotta do. Really. For one of these. And let's see if this MFE works. Yes, we're also making an MFSU. I figured we're gonna start saving more power, because we're gonna generate a lot more power than we have so far. So we got the reactor, we got the MFSU. Here are the 27 uranium fuel rods. And I wanted to make 4 of these glass fiber cables just because they're cool looking. We don't really need the 8192 EU transfer capacity, and 27 motors, and put that in here. And now I believe that these guys don't stack. Yes, okay. So I'm gonna have to take these out slowly. I don't want to fill my whole inventory right now because I want to set this up first. Let's actually start with the MFSU. And this one, I want to be sitting on top of this. And now, if I'm not mistaken, if I shift right click there, it should, yeah, the output should be on the bottom now. And does this actually have a charge? No, it lost a charge. And the actual reactor, I think I want to put back here. Okay? Now let me just show you guys here first. When you just put down the reactor, that's actually all you need. And you have then these 3 columns worth of items you can put in here. The heat vents and these fuel rods. But if we add these chambers to it, then we get more power. Okay? And I think I'm gonna put one cable right there. Yeah, let's load like this. Like that. And let's put one of these chambers right there. Maybe? No? Okay. Get an angel block so I... Oh man, I lost... No, I only made 4, never mind. Whew, that scared me. Alright, just give me any... Doesn't matter. Actually, I need 2, so 1 right there. Yes, and another one on top. Like this. And now we can put the actual nuclear reactor up here. Okay, and now we can put the chambers around it. And, you know, you gotta leave yourself... You don't need to. Actually, I think I made... I made 1 too few. I need to make 1 more of these. Oh, I'm such a noob. Can I reach this at all? Like that. Oh man, why did I not think this through? Yeah, I'm still missing 1 column, so I gotta make 1 more of these. But luckily, that is not bad to make, this one. Let's make this one real quick. Not you, you. Reactor chamber. I don't think I have the casing. Oh, I do. I do have the machine casing. Why do I have one of these? Oh, because I taught the system to make them. Yes, of course. That's why. It's requesting it right now, and it's going to take a second to get back to us, so I can put these blocks away again. And it is a multi-block structure, that nuclear reactor, so you don't need to be worried about not being able to access it or anything. So we can put this here, and now we get our nuclear reactor, and I can open it, and now we have all of them available, okay? And, of course, I gotta close this one to over here. And we need 1 lever. Because by default, it is off, and we are going to use anti-block. Yeah, let's make this an obvious color. Something very obvious. There we go. And we'll put this right there with that. I can't use anti... Oh, this is a regular lever. What? Lever. There we go. This one. Back. Thank you. There we go. All right. So now, let me get a few more of these fans. I can fill my inventory with that now. Altogether, we need both 27 rods and 27 fans. Later on, this is going to change a bit. Ooh, look at that. It fit all in the inventory. And now, the way is that I played around with this in creative a bit, okay? And we're going to put all the fans first. We're going to put 1 every 2 slots. And then 1 in the middle like this. Now, it's going to come out that it's not asymmetrical from the top to the bottom. You guys see right here. Like that. And that is simply because these fuel rods here, they barely generate any heat. Okay? We really have to mess up. Like, somebody would have to sabotage our reactor to actually make this blow up. They would have to pull out these fans in order for this reactor to blow up. These guys deplete way before these heat vents run out of durability. If they run out of durability at all, I don't know. And then between them, we put all these fuel rods. So, most of them have actually 4 cooling on each side. But some of them only 3. Like the ones on the edges here. This one only has 2. And this one only has 2. This one has 3, this one has 3, 3, and then these ones in the middle have 4. Okay, and then all you're gonna do is turn it on. And you see right here, we're generating 135 EU a tick, and the core temperature is 0%. We don't generate any heat, none. I just wanted to make sure it's safe because, well, I'm in my main base right now, and I'm also near spawn, so I'm okay with that. And these guys, I just run this to generate free power here. Once this is full, it doesn't matter. This thing will keep going. The energy is just wasted. This doesn't have an internal storage, nothing. But we really just want to deplete these, okay? So I'm going to have to keep my eye open. It's a little bit late at night already, my time. So I'm going to just let this run until tomorrow morning. And then check how far this got down. And if they're not depleted, then I'm just going to leave it. If they are depleted, then I'm probably going to set up an automation here. Meaning have like a chest here pumping in the full fuel rods. And on the other side have one pumping out depleted fuel rods with a filter. But of course, in order to set up a filter, I first need one of these guys here to be depleted. Otherwise, I can't set up a filter. I could do an inverted, so don't. No, I can't. I would then have to take a fuzzy or something. I'm just going to wait until one of them runs out. But we are in business. Check this out. This little thing here replaced all these generators that we had. I would like to dress it up a little bit, but not right now. And don't forget that this is just temporary here pretty much, because eventually all this is going out near the factory, not in the factory itself, but in the waste biomes near it. And we're gonna have many more of these, I'm gonna say. And then we're actually going to ship the AU power either to our factory or back to here via rail carts, because there's no way without using the immersive engineering ways of with the wire connectors and so on to turn AU into RF. And then I could use the Tesseract to get it here, but I don't want to use that. We are going to set up trains for that. There is a cart right there. There's an MFE cart on. I have not found an MFSU cart. I think the MFE is the biggest. But you know, if we have a couple of these going back and forth, and they just dump the EU here, so when I need it, you know, we should never run out. Don't know how it's gonna work once we set up recyclers and so on that need a lot more, but we'll figure out when we get to that. Right now, I'm happy that we finally got this set up. We got the Inscribers going today. We made huge strides in progression today. And I think definitely next episode we are going to do stuff in the factory because, well, we're gonna start having to set up some of the automation over there. And that is it, guys. Hope you guys liked my diving outfit and you enjoyed the episode. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.